Hi everyone, my name is Swati, and today I'll be showing you how to set up experiments in Modelon Impact through Experiment Setup. For today's demo, I'll be using a heat pump system model. Now, to get into Experiment Setup, you simply click Experiment next to the Diagram tab. And now you're here. You have three options for Experiment Setup. You have the single run, which is just running your model one time. You have parameter sweep, which is where you can run one or multiple parameters set to distinct values or over ranges. Or you can use statistical, which is when you set one or multiple parameters to a standardized distribution. Let's start off with creating a parameter sweep. Now, I'd like to understand how the COP is affected depending on the initialization changes to the refrigeration cycle. So I'm going to add that modifier here. And I'll select. Now this is set to a value of 3, but I'd like to actually run it over a range. So I'm going to set the bottom range to 2, the top range to 10, and I'm going to run 10 cases. And as you can see, the cases will be 10. It will be run on steady state. So I'm going to simulate. Okay, once I'm done simulating, I can go in and see the results. So I'm going to pop into analysis view here, and I've already set up a analysis view dashboard. So I have a graph for the COP, the initialization charge set points, how the evaporator is performing, and how the condenser is performing. And now I can go case by case, and as I move through the cases, the graphs change dynamically. Okay, so let's try setting up a statistical experiment. Now let's say I'd like to look at how the correction factor of the heat transfer for both the evaporator and condenser affect the system. Now that's much harder to find distinct values for, so I'm actually going to use a distribution for that one. So I'm going to first find those modifiers. And I'm going to set a normal distribution, but I do have the option of setting a uniform or beta distribution. So I'm going to set the mean, that can stay at 1.5 or 1. I'll set the variance to 1.5. I'll set the minimum value to 3 and the maximum value to 2. All right, let's do the same thing for condenser. I will also run this through a normal distribution, and I will change this to 0.5, and I'll set this to 2 as well. All right, now I actually want to run 100 cases of these so I can manually set the number of cases in this right panel. So now I'm setting 100 cases, and I'm going to let that run. All right, so now that I've simulated the model, it's time to look at the results. From this first graph, I can see how the correction factor changes the COP. And as you can see, this is following a normal distribution. Now, the actual variable we're changing, the correction factor, seems to be a linear line. However, all the cases are being sampled at random. I can also look at the two variables in relation to each other. So in this graph, I can look at the correction factor for both the condenser and evaporator, and I can see how each value changes with each other. All right, and that was experiment setup. As you can see, it's a pretty easy way to set up experiments for your model. You can also supercharge this by adding the productivity add-on to your Modelon Impact license so you can run larger experiments. If you're a Modelon Impact Cloud user, you already have access to this feature, so go ahead and try it out. If you'd like to learn more about Modelon Impact or setting up experiments, please contact us through our website or at sales@modelon.com. Thank you.